Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. It is FA Cup semi-final day as Manchester United women host Chelsea women for a place at Wembley in the FA Cup final. The winner of this game this afternoon will take on either Spurs or Leicester in the final on the 12th of May. But that game is still going on. It is currently in extra time and it is 1-1, so we are still yet to know which team will face either Chelsea or Manchester United in the FA Cup final. Manchester United in the WSL have had a very disappointing season. After last season, they finished in second, but this campaign they are currently sat in fourth, being 6 points off third, 12 points off second, and 15 points off first. But this FA Cup run has brought some positivity as they are looking to reach back-to-back finals in this competition. Chelsea had dreams of a quadruple, but that after the defeat in the Conti Cup final to Arsenal means the focus is now on the treble in Emma Hayes' last season at the club. The Blues have Barcelona in the Champions League semi-final and they are 3 points off Man City in the league, but they do have a game in hand on the league leaders. This fixture was the final of the FA Cup last season, where Chelsea came out as winners after a 1-0 result, with the only scorer being Sam Kerr in the 68th minute. Unfortunately, one team will not be able to replicate another season reaching the final. So, with United never beating Chelsea in their history and Chelsea on a run of 8 wins in a row against today's opposition, will history continue to repeat itself, or will Manchester United finally be able to beat this Chelsea side? As just mentioned, we still don't know who the other finalists will be. It was the earlier kick-off between Spurs and Leicester. And Leicester were 1-0 up for the majority of the game, and then Spurs picked up a late equaliser with about 10 minutes to go. And that game has gone into extra time, and it is still 1-1. So if that goes all the way to penalties, we'll find out the winner during the start of this game. So whichever team go through in this fixture will probably be the favourites against whoever go through in the other fixture. Even though Manchester United haven't been the Manchester United of last season, they'd probably still just about favour themselves to win the competition if they were able to beat Chelsea, who are probably the overall favourites, and get to the final. But it's just a very torrid record that Manchester United have against Chelsea overall. Like I said, they've never beaten them at all. The only time they haven't been beat was a 1-1 draw back in September 2020. Other than that, it is 10 Chelsea wins and a draw. So Manchester United looking for their first win against them. When they met earlier on this season, back in the middle of January, it was a 3-1 Chelsea win at Stamford Bridge with a hat-trick from Lauren James. And she will be playing in a central area today, so trying to get her on the ball as much as possible, trying to get her scoring even more goals. And when these two sides met 3 times last season, Chelsea won all 3, won 3-1 here in the league at Manchester United's home stadium of the Leigh Sports Village, and then they beat them at home as well, 1-0 through Sam Kerr, and then they beat Manchester United again 1-0 at Wembley that time in the FA Cup final, and Sam Kerr was the match winner once again. But they don't have Sam Kerr, she's out with an ACL injury at the moment. They obviously brought in Mayra Ramirez in the January window for a record-breaking fee. So they're definitely not got weaker, Chelsea, that is for sure. If they ever lose a player, they are more than quick enough to bring in a replacement or have one already at the club ready to step in. But for Manchester United, it has just been such a backward season. They did so well last campaign, finishing second, just 2 points off Chelsea in the end, who ended up winning the league. Those 2 games against each other in the league was what made it. What made Chelsea become champions of the league for the 4th time in a row. But it's just more the fact of how far off they are the rest. Manchester United, like 4th place isn't the worst position, because obviously there's Arsenal, Chelsea and Manchester City in the division, but 6 points off Arsenal, 12 points off Chelsea, 15 points off Manchester City, and behind them in 5th and 6th they've got Liverpool, who are 2 points behind them, and Spurs, who are 6 points. So they just need to be careful they don't drop any lower down the table, because that would be a really bad season for Manchester United if they were to finish below 4th in the table. But success in this competition could almost just wipe out the league season difficulties if they can bring home an FA Cup. never won this competition before. It was their first ever major final last season, reaching the FA Cup final. So, how they would love to reach the final again to play at Wembley. As in the other semi-final, it's still 1-1, 3 minutes left of extra time, but we're going to go through the lineups here of both sides. And we're going to start with Manchester United, who make 3 changes from the last time they faced Chelsea back in the middle of January. Of course, it is Mary Earps in goal with a back four of Aoife Mannion, who is returning from a quad injury that she's had throughout the entirety of this season. Our left back is Hannah Blundell, who's featured in every game so far this season for Manchester United in all competitions, and 2 centre-halves, the usual centre-back partnership of Maya Letitia and Millie Turner, with 2 holding midfielders of Elisa Nalsson and captain Katie Zellum. 3 behind the striker. On the right wing is Lucia Garcia. On the left is Leah Galton. In behind the striker is Ella Toon. And up front, playing through the middle, usually someone who comes off the bench, but she is making a start today, and it is Rachel Williams. She's got 3 goals in the FA Cup this season, all in each round that they've played in, on all off the bench, but she has been rewarded with a goal-scoring record in this competition with a start in the semi-final. And for Chelsea, it is Hannah Hampton in goal, who did feature for England during the international break against Ireland. A back four, right back of Eve Perisset. At left back is Niamh Charles, and 2 centre-halves of Jess Carter and Kidisha Buchanan. 2 older midfielders of Melanie Lupoltz and Erin Cuthbert, today's captain for Chelsea. On the right wing is going to be Joanna Rittin-Carnred. On the left is Guro Wrighton. In between them 2 will be Lauren James, who of course scored a hat-trick in the last meeting between these 2. And up front, the number 35, it'll be Myra Ramirez, who has scored 3 goals for Chelsea so far, 1 in the WSL and 1 also in the FA Cup against Crystal Palace, which for Chelsea was their last 16 game. It was a 1-0 home win. Myra Ramirez was the only goal scorer. So it's 2 very strong teams. Of course, as we've been talking about, Manchester United have been underachieving this campaign. But when it comes to a cup semi-final, almost form goes out the window, and it's a one-off game where both teams are desperate to win. But it is a very dangerous Chelsea side with that front 4 is just really scary. Rittin-Carnred, James, Wright and Ramirez up front. The Manchester United defence are going to have a very difficult day. But for both, it is a huge challenge. But for Chelsea, the majority of their clean sheets have been away in the league. They've kept 8 clean sheets, and 6 of them have been away from home. For Manchester United, they've kept just 4 clean sheets and just 1 at home. They've collected 3 away against Everton, Bristol and Spurs. And in the FA Cup, they have kept 2 clean sheets from their 3 games. A 5-0 home win in the 4th round against Newcastle, and then a 4-0 away win in the quarter-final against Brighton. And for Chelsea, they've had to get past West Ham, Crystal Palace and Everton to reach this stage of the competition, as a former Manchester United striker, Martha Thomas, has given Tottenham the lead with 2 minutes left to play in extra time at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So at the moment, it is Tottenham who have found their way to Wembley for the FA Cup final, which will be played towards the start of May. So it's not full time yet, but Tottenham are leading in the other FA Cup semi-final, 2-1 against Leicester. We'll have to see if that remains the same, but our focus is on this game here at Leigh Sports Village. Kirsty Dowell is today's referee. It is Manchester United, who have never beaten Chelsea before, against a Chelsea side who are currently on a run of 8 wins in a row, against today's opposition, who will come out on top to make back-to-back FA Cup finals. This was the FA Cup final last season, as both sets of players take the knee. It'll be Manchester United to kick us off, kicking left to right, Chelsea right to left, who will be able to make the FA Cup final for 2024. Manchester United kick us off. They're playing it back to Letitia, who sends it up towards the Manchester United left, headed forward by Rittin-Carnred for Chelsea, straight to Millie Turner. It's now with the left back Blundell, midway side her own half. She hooks it down the line towards Leah Galton, who can control it, keeps it away from Cuthbert, but won back by Perisset for Chelsea. She clears it forward, headed away by Turner, straight to Cuthbert, who sends it in behind the Manchester United defence. Turner will get there first. She goes back to Mary Earps, who clears it first time for Manchester United. Flicked on by Rachel Williams, who chased down by Leah Galton. Poor back pass from Perisset, straight to Galton, who's in behind in the final third, with the crossing towards the far post for Garcia to head it home. And it's a quick start for Manchester United. Less than a minute in, they take the lead. Garcia with the goal. An error at the back from Eve Perisset for Chelsea. Capitalised on by the hard work of Galton, who charged down the left-hand side. The angle was tight for a shot, so she went for the cross instead. Lifted up there for Garcia, who from in the 6-yard box headed it beyond Hannah Hampton in the Chelsea goal. And that is exactly what Mark Skinner would have wanted, the Manchester United head coach. The ball was put towards Galton on the left wing, but Perisset got there first for Chelsea. She's tried to kick it back towards her goalkeeper. Completely scuffed the pass backwards. It's gone straight into the feet of Galton, who took it down the line, chipped it to that far post, where Garcia had a free header, as Charles for Chelsea decided to get on the line to try and block the header instead of trying to win the header herself. But it went beyond Hampton. I think Charles got a touch to it on the line but couldn't keep it out. And just less than a minute in, Manchester United have already got themselves ahead. It's Manchester United 1, Chelsea 0. What a quick fire start we've had here at Leigh Sports Village. And it is Garcia with the goal for Manchester United. She scored in the FA Cup quarter-final away at Brighton. She's now scored in the semi-final here against Chelsea. And it's getting from bad to worse for Emma Hayes' side at the moment. Defeated in the Conti Cup final before the international break to Arsenal. Now they're behind in the FA Cup semi-final. You know, the dream quadruple was on, but it's gone from a quadruple to a treble, and if they don't get through tonight, it could go down to a double. And it's no easy feat winning the Champions League, and it's not like they're coasting away in the WSL. Manchester City currently above them, despite playing a game extra. But such a poor error from Eve Perisset, the Chelsea right back, the 29-year-old, vastly experienced, full France international, played for her country twice in the April international break, but she's made a real error there, just not getting enough contact on the ball to send it back to Hampton in the Chelsea goal. Played Galton through, and she provided a wonderful assist for Garcia. As we're back underway here, Lauren James, midway inside her own half, facing her own goal here, being chased down by Zellum. James will keep it, and she is dragged back there by Zellum, and that'll be a free kick for Chelsea. Katie Zellum was not letting go of Lauren James there, and Lauren James just gave her a shove back. So the referee's having a word with both. Don't want the game to get too aggressive early on. But a big pull of the shirt there from Zellum. She just was not letting go, and then she tripped James as well. James didn't like it, and so she gave Zellum a bit of a pull back. Something of nothing there, and it would be dealt with by the referee. As Chelsea were in the box there down the right-hand side. Myra Ramirez chasing it, but Millie Turner was able to deal with it. She's kicked it behind for a Chelsea corner here on the far side. As Chelsea want to respond as quickly as possible after falling behind within 40 seconds of the start of the game. It'll be a ball in from that far side. It'll be an in-swinger for Chelsea. They've got plenty of bodies in there to aim for. It'll be Guro Wrighton to take the set piece. Charles is in there, Ramirez, Carter, Leupolz, Cuthbert as well. She puts it into the box here, looking for Leupolz at the far post, headed away for Manchester United. Leupolz will gather it for Chelsea. She recycles it into the box to the near post, where it's cleared into the sky and away for Manchester United by Aoife Mannion, who's back into the team for Manchester United, the Irish international. Missed the entirety of the start of the season with a quad injury from September to February. She also suffered an ACL injury twice now, from 2022 through to 2023, and before that she suffered an ACL injury back in 2019, so she's really been through the most difficult of injuries, Aoife Mannion, but she's back into the team now, and hopefully she can have a nice run of football injury-free. As it's Chelsea on the halfway line with the ball, at right back with Perisset. Goes forward here to Wrighton. Inside to Leupolz, wants the 1-2. Wrighton will chase it, but it's intercepted well by Zellum. 1-2 with Toon, and Zellum sends it down the left-hand side. It's just away from Galton, and it'll be a ball through here for Jess Carter at the back for Chelsea. As in the other semi-final, it is finished full-time. Spurs 2, Leicester 1. So the winner of this game will take on Tottenham at Wembley on the 11th of May. That's Buchanan. Nice ball out to the left here for Niamh Charles. Slips it through here for Carnrid on a right foot. Squares it across. James with a right foot. She blazes it over the crossbar, but that is so easy for Chelsea to find space on the left-hand side there. Brilliant ball from Buchanan. Good touch inside by Charles. And for some reason, Mannion was playing Wrighton on side. Mannion sat so far deep. She was able to get across and slide in to tackle Wrighton, but the ball went straight to James, who on a right foot blazed over the bar. That's really poor from Aoife Mannion to play Wrighton on side. She has to push up there because that line was so disjointed. But they've survived that, Manchester United. But that can't be happening again, for sure. As it's kicked out to the Manchester United left, headed on by Galton. Strong challenge from behind by Perisset, but nothing given by the referee. Eventually drops to Buchanan, who will clear it up the field here for Chelsea. Midway side the United half, controlled by Ramirez, but she was in an offside position. So it'll be a free kick for Manchester United. Playing a 10th game for Chelsea now. Mayra Ramirez, like I say, scored the 3 goals, all in different competitions. Scored in the Champions League against Ajax in the last knockout round, and then scored against Leicester in the league and Crystal Palace in the FA Cup in that 1-0 win in the last 16. But from this free kick, it'll be taken by Mary Earps. She's coming up towards a century of WSL appearances. And she sends it down the Manchester United left towards Galton, who can head it inside it, but it'll be headed away by Carter, controlled by Ritin Carnrid, who can play it back to Carter in a right-back position for Chelsea. In the defensive third, she clears it long up to the halfway line, where it's volleyed away by Turner for Manchester United, straight to Galton, who can keep it away from Perisset. Plays it inside for Rachel Williams, who will bring it forward down the left-hand side. She's got Toon to her left. She's in the box now, Williams, on her right foot. Turns back and plays it out to the left to Toon with her right foot. Just loses control of the ball and loses out to Ritin Carnrid. And that'll be a free kick for Chelsea. She was pulled back there by Toon as she got the better of the Manchester United number 7. And it's a free kick for Chelsea, well within their own half. They switched out to the left back of Niamh Charles, who goes inside to Leupolz. And then back to Charles at left back. Finds Cuthbert in a central position here. She plays a left-footed ball in behind. It's well cut out though by Mannion. Needed to read that right because Guro Wrighton was in behind there. It's now with Manchester United on this near side. Nolson giving the ball away. Good recovery from Wrighton to get back and win the ball for Chelsea. It's now in the centre circle of Cuthbert. High ball out to the right-hand side. Controlled by Wrighton. She has to chase it down ahead of Blundell. And it'll be Blundell to get the last touch off Wrighton. Ritin Carnrid, sorry. And that'll be a throw-in for Manchester United in their defensive third on the far side. It'll be interesting battles with Blundell up against Ritin Carnrid and Mannion coming up against Wrighton. As the throw-in's flicked on by Williams, played down the line by Galton, straight out of play. Chelsea throw-in. About 15 yards inside the Manchester United half here, with Jess Carter currently the one with the ball, but it will be taken now instead by Perisset. The right back throws it into Cuthbert. High ball in behind. It'll be Lauren James to give chase. Turner wins the header. As far as Mayra Ramirez for Chelsea, running towards the corner flag, gets away from Blundell and puts in a cross towards the far post. She overhits it there, the Colombian, and they'll go all the way to this near side now, where it'll be Mannion to give chase to it, and she's lost possession of the ball there with a throw-in to Chelsea. Mannion and Charles, the two chasing it down, and Charles has got the ball for Chelsea, throws it into Leupolz, who crosses into the box, nowhere near a blue shirt, and straight into the gloves of Mary Earps. A lot of interest in the English goalkeeper in the summer, as she's got a contract expiring at the end of this season. Arsenal are the team most interested. I've heard links to PSG as well. Be a bit of a shame if she does leave the English game. Mary Earps. She kicks the ball forward beyond the halfway line towards Williams. It goes beyond her and Buchanan in towards the Chelsea 18-yard box where Carter can head it back to a goalkeeper of Hampton. And it'll be Chelsea back in possession. Bit of a nervy moment there as the ball went in behind Buchanan. And Carter was able to get there first. Now Hampton chips it out to the Chelsea left, controlled with the chest of Charles, played into Leupold, keeps it away from Toon, lays it back into Charles, who's just come inside to a more central position, and then sends it to Carter at right centre-back as we're midway inside the Chelsea half. It's now with Khadisha Buchanan, a three-time Canadian Player of the Year winner, now at the age of 28, in a second season at Chelsea, signed from Lyon. There's Chelsea trying to tack down the right-hand side. Ritten Carnrid blocks the Turner clearance, but a second clearance works its way to Blundell at left-back and then cleared by Nalsund, controlled by Galton to Toon, and returns it to Galton. Down the Manchester United left, Galton, heavy touch, trying to get around Carter, but she can't quite do so. Carter deals with it and clears it out from Manchester United throwing on that far side. Emma Hayes giving out some early instructions as she reached 200 games as a manager in the WSL. Last time out, when they beat West Ham by 2-0. It was the 140th win as well in those 200, so she's only failed to win in 60 of her 200 WSL games, which is a pretty impressive record for Emma Hayes. That is Chelsea on the ball. Midway side their own half again here with Buchanan. Loads of time on the ball here for the Canadian. She's going to play it out to the left-hand side. It's a high ball. It's controlled by Wrighton, but a touch just goes out of play. And it'll be a Manchester United throw-in almost there for Guro Wrighton, the 29-year-old Norwegian winger, coming up towards 150 appearances for Chelsea. This is 148 for her. Just lacking the goals, though, this season. Guro Wrighton, compared to last. She's on 5 in all competitions for the season. She reached 13 in the last campaign. As Cuthbert loses possession in the Chelsea midfield. Zellum switches out to the left now to Galton, still inside her own half. Goes back to the left back of Blundell. Inside to Toon. Now with Nalsund, who wants the 1-2 with Toon, which cut out there by Leupold, and it will deflect back to Mary Earps in the 18-yard box for Manchester United, who plays it to the number 4 of Maya Letitia, who turns 22 next week. Joined from Brighton in July of 2022 for a release clause, which was around £50,000. Wasn't in the England squad for the recent international break, but she was called up for the one in the February of this year. She does hold the record as well, Maya Letitia, for the most appearances as a teenager in the WSL. Shows how much experience she already has as a youngster. She tries the ball through towards Rachel Williams on the edge of the 18-yard box, but it's dealt with by Buchanan, who goes back to Hampton. She goes forward and out to the right towards Ritten Carnrid. Brilliant control, keeping it away from Blundell, but then she's tackled strongly by Manchester United's number 6. And there'll be a Chelsea throw just inside their own half on that far side. As they lead by a goal to nil, scored within 40 seconds from Lucia Garcia. A mistake from Perisset at right back for Chelsea. Galton got in behind, crossed it to the far post, and it was a superb header from Garcia to get it beyond Hampton as Charles heads it forward here for Guro Wrighton, who puts Letitia under pressure, and she can only kick it out for a Chelsea throw-in hit deep within the Manchester United half. Still no real opportunities yet for Chelsea. We've had Lauren James sky one over the crossbar, but never going to trouble Mary Earps. It's from the throw-in. It's Ramirez who holds it up for James. Switches it out to the right. Nice ball for Perisset. Forward from right back. Finds the right winger of Ritten Carnrid. 1-on-1 with Blundell in the final third. Wants to go on a right foot. Drives inside instead. Plays a ball inside towards Cuthbert, who can't quite take it under control. Cleared in the air by Nalsund. Headed forward by Charles. Cleared by Zellum. Again, not very far. Straight to Leupold for Chelsea, who just launches it up into the air on the edge of the box now, where it's a well-won header by Letitia. Cleared backwards by Zellum. It's all a bit messy here on the edge of the box as it nearly breaks for Ramirez. It falls here to Cuthbert, who wanted the shot. James takes over, plays it to Ritten Carnrid, chops onto her left foot as she strikes it, and it's well held by Mary Earps. First shot on goal, well, first shot on target anyway for Chelsea. It's just all a bit too messy on the edge of the box there for Manchester United, failing to clear their lines. And it was a brilliant bit of skill there on the right wing by Ritten Carmrid, who did a lovely chop to send Blundell sliding the complete opposite direction, and she had to take the shot on her left foot, but unfortunately lacked a real direction. It was straight at Mary Earps, who kicks this one long, headed back forward by Charles for Chelsea, headed forward by Zellerman halfway. It'll drop towards Rachel Williams, who chests it. She goes down over the challenger, Charles, and that'll be a free kick for Manchester United. She has got all the experience in the world. Rachel Williams, at the age of 36, spent a year of her career at Chelsea, back from 2014 to 2015. She also works as a plasterer as well, Rachel Williams, in her spare time to bring in a bit more money. Wonder how long she'll have left in her career now at the age of 36, but still scores goals, Rachel Williams. She's got 9 so far this season, 3 more than she got in the entirety of last season. She's won a team of free kick here. Toon plays it down the line, try to catch out the Chelsea defence. It does reach Garcia, who crosses it towards the far post, but it's straight over the crossbar and behind for a goal kick. Clever choice of a free kick there from Manchester United, from Toon, as they were trying to catch out the Chelsea defence, which they did quite well. You know, Garcia got in behind and put the cross in, but the cross just lacked the accuracy, and behind it went. A cross that didn't lack the accuracy was the Galton one to Garcia in the 6-yard box, heading it back across goal. Beating Hampton. Charles couldn't clear off the line, and that's why Chelsea are behind already. That goal came within the first 40 seconds of the game. As Mannion throws it down the line from United, held up by Garcia, deflects to Wrighton, who clears it forward here for James. On this near side for Chelsea, lays it back off to Wrighton. It's now to Leupold, midway side her own half. She plays out to the right back of Perisset. Got time on the ball, she's going to go long. Down the right channel here for Chelsea, as Ritten Carmrid will beat Blundell to it, towards the byline. Can she cross? She can't. It's a low one to the near post. Well dealt with by Turner, who clears it down the left-hand side for Manchester United. Straight out of play, throwing for Chelsea. Very positive running down that right-hand side by Guro Wrighton, who clearly has the pace on Hannah Blundell. And to be fair, with a heavy touch, she did well to keep it in play with the cross, but the cross was straight at the near post. And it is Chelsea on the ball. Forward here to Wrighton. Back into the left back of Charles. James making a run ahead of her. She finds James on the edge of the box in a left wing position. She's got 2 United players around her, but James can still work across, but it deflects off one of them, and that is Letitia. And it's a corner on this near side for Chelsea. Won by former Manchester United player of Lauren James. She was one of the main reasons why Manchester United were promoted back in 2019 from the Championship to the WSL. Scoring 14 goals in 18 appearances in the league for Manchester United that season, where they went up as champions. But she's since moved on to Chelsea for a second stint here at the club. As James sends it to the edge of the box here from the corner. All alone is Perisset. Dinks it to the far post for Cuthbert, who can't win the header there on Galton. And it's with Nolson towards the corner flag. Loses out to Leupold, who shields it for Chelsea. Going towards the byline. Puts the ball into the near post. Dealt with by Williams. Cleared not very well by Nolson. It's now Ramirez who takes over. Can't quite work it to Ritten Carmrid. And it'll be Manchester United who can eventually clear it up the field through Rachel Williams. It comes off Buchanan. And it's a throw-in for the home side as they're just seeming a little bit on edge when they're defending. They're fluffing their lines a lot with clearances. They just need to relax a little bit when they're defending at the moment, Manchester United, because in all honesty, if Chelsea are going to score a goal, it looks like it's going to come from a Manchester United mistake at the back. So they just need to try and settle as best they can. I know it's a pressure game. There's a lot on it, an FA Cup final position, but you know they don't want to throw this game away as they've took such an early lead. Chelsea have won it back already from the throw-in. It's an essential area we need. Charles sends it out to the right wing here to Ramirez. Touches it on for Ritten Carmrid, who can't beat Galton to it. Who in a left-back position clears it off the winger for Chelsea, and it deflects all the way to Cuthbert. So Chelsea can keep the ball as they restart on the halfway line now in the centre circle with Kadisha Buchanan. He plays it into Jess Carter, who's making her 11th start in a row for Chelsea in all competitions. 26-year-old Jess Carter, brought in from Birmingham just under 6 years ago now, as Mannion defends well against Wrighton and wins the free kick in a right-back position for Manchester United. Guro Wrighton claiming that she was having her shirt pulled, but it just looked like it was fair defending there from Aoife Mannion, who just got her body between ball and Wrighton and then was tripped by the Chelsea number 11, Well won free kick there. Good defending by the Irish international of Aoife Mannion, who was first put into the Ireland squad in February 2023. She is born in Solihull. She did feature for England at under 15, under 17, under 19, under 20 and under 23 level before switching up to play for the Irish national team. That's Cuthbert for Chelsea down the left-hand side beyond the halfway line. Great running from the Scottish international. She turns backwards to keep possession as Cuthbert now drives back towards her own goal and lays it off for Charles. One of my favourite players in the women's game, Erin Cuthbert. I love what she stands for, such a hard-working midfielder, but also has the technical ability in there, and she takes the captain's armband for Chelsea this afternoon. As Buchanan at the back brings it beyond the halfway line for Chelsea, looking towards their left-hand side, lays it off for James, who goes back to Buchanan. It's now to the left back of Charles, who's in a left-wing position, plays it inside here for Wrighton, and then back to James, about 25 yards from goal. And then lays it back here into Buchanan, as she's been closed down there by Nalsund. It's now back with James, onto her right foot, plays it to the right-hand side here to Perisset, who's got time on the ball, plays it forward now, down the line for Ritin Carmrid, who's towards the byline. She's trying to play the ball inside, and she finds a good ball to Leupold, who turns and lets James take over with the shot, blocked on the penalty spot by Turner. And it's for Charles to try and win it back for Chelsea, but it's a header won out wide to the right for United by Williams, volleyed forward by Mannion, in behind for Toon, who's going to give chase to it. Carter will just about get there first. That was almost a perfect pass there for Toon by Mannion. I'm not sure if it was a pass or a clearance, but it almost ended up being a great ball. But it's really good defending there from Jess Carter, Chelsea's number 7, having to track down Manchester United's number 7. As Jess Carter can bring it out from the back for Chelsea. Goes to the right back of Perisset. High ball down the right-hand side here, where Cuthbert will chase it. Turner will get there first comfortably. She goes back to Earps, who will play a left-footed ball forward to Zellum. Goes back into the 18-yard box to Letitia. Well kept there from Manchester United as Letitia goes long out towards the United left. Flipped on by Galton. She'll chase down her own header here. And she'll get there ahead of Perisset. And she'll be tackled by the French defender. And that'll be a throw-in for Manchester United on the far side. Well won there by Leah Galton, who's had a really solid opening 22.5 minutes in the game, providing the assist for the goal. As it's Toon on the left-hand side, turning away from Leupold. Taking it down the left side here for Manchester United and turn away from Leupold. What skill that is from Toon, who can cross it in towards Rachel Williams! And it's 2 for Manchester United. Another header, another goal. And this is a seriously impressive Manchester United performance against the current FA Cup holders, the current WSL holders as well. Ella Toon, with some magnificent pieces of skill down the Manchester United left, taking on Melanie Leupold to eventually work the cross into the box. And the cross was always going to reach Rachel Williams. Such good weight on the ball into the 18-yard box. Williams charging forward to win the header, getting in between Buchanan and Charles, firing the header home. No chance for Hampton again. And from around 6 yards out, Williams was able to direct the header into the bottom left corner. I think Hampton got a slight touch to it, but not enough to keep it out. And just under 25 minutes in here at Leigh Sports Village, after 2 headed goals, it's Manchester United 2, Chelsea 0. They've had to do a lot of defending in this game so far, Manchester United, since going 1-0 up in the game as Ramirez in the box had the ball, but there was a flag up for offside, I think, from Wrighton in the left wing position. But since they've been 1-0 up, it's been Chelsea who've been dominating the possession. Manchester United have got forward every now and then, but not doing too much to really challenge the Chelsea goalkeeper. But so good from Toon on the left wing to turn away from Leupold. And it's not even just the skill to get the cross in, it's the cross itself, so well weighted. Perfect for Williams to run onto it and head towards goal, take the momentum with the ball. The fact the ball's going forward already, she can just run onto it and help it on its way. And you can't point fingers at the Chelsea goalkeeper. Hampton's had no chance with these 2 headers, which have come from point-blank range, really. They've both come from around 6 yards out, and they've both hit the back of the net. If Chelsea want to instant reply if possible. But they have got a throw in the final third here on the far side. Tackle away from Galton as it was aimed towards Ritin Karmrid. It's now with Carter, who goes back here into the central centre-back at the moment of Buchanan. Back to the right-hand side here to Jess Carter. Loads of time on the ball here. No one closing her down in a red shirt. She's midway inside the United half. She has to go back, though, to Buchanan in the centre circle. Charles is forward from left-back. She goes forward to Wrighton instead, who can work it back to Buchanan, even though she was being closed down pretty strongly there by Mannion. It's now Jess Carter out to the right-back of Perisset. Down the line it goes here for Ritin Karmrid. She'll drive inside here into the 18-yard box, squares it to Cuthbert, who takes this touch, and then she shoots it towards the far post. Deflects just wide. Almost a goal back there for Chelsea through their captain, Erin Cuthbert, who's got the one FA Cup goal so far this season. That came in the 4th round against West Ham, which they needed extra time to get beyond the Hammers. And it looks like they might need extra time in this one because they've got a big mountain to climb. Really good block there from Letitia to give the corner away. As Wrighton is the one to deliver it in for Chelsea to the edge of the box to Cuthbert, who can play it to the right wing here. Ball to the edge of the box to Carter, who's been forced to go back here to Buchanan. Seems like a little bit of a waste of a corner here, as they've failed to get it into the box, and it's now all the way back into the Chelsea half here with their centre half of Buchanan, who sends it out to the left there quickly to Perisset, who gets away from the challenger Garcia. Perisset to bring it forward, plays it inside to Charles. It's now a Leupold, turns into trouble, and that's Nalsund, who can bring it away for United. Sends it to the left wing to Galton, who crosses the halfway line. Nalsund's continued to run forward, and she finds her down the left wing here for Manchester United. She's one-on-one with Carter. Nalsund on the ball, finds Galton on the edge of the box, forces it back here to Blundell. And then to Katie Zellum, the captain, crosses into the box, played forward by Williams. And from around 14 yards out, her left-footed shot goes a couple of yards wide of the post. And here, just after 27 minutes played, it's Manchester United 2, Chelsea 0. Not at all how Emma Hayes wanted this game to go. Just a reminder that Manchester United have never beaten Chelsea before. The closest they've come was a 1-1 draw at home back in September 2020. But they are well within the lead here. It's only the second time ever that Manchester United have actually scored twice against Chelsea. So they also struggle for goals as well, as they've had a huge travelling here, Chelsea. Lots of Chelsea supporters. It's an 8-hour round trip on the roads for the away supporters, and they're not usually used to seeing this sort of result so early on in a game. It's Chelsea on the ball in their own half here. Buchanan clips out towards the right back, who heads it forward here, but straight to Toon for United, who gets it into the centre circle with Zellum. It's out to the left back now, Blundell on the far side. Forward to Toon, who can't quite take it under control. Gives it away there to Perisset. It's now Chelsea to bring it forward with Leupold. It's out to the far side here. And then played inside to James, who's got Ramirez out wide, in behind. She tries to slip the ball through to her. Cleared by Turner. Straight to Leupold, who's on the edge of the box. She's brought down. Brilliant challenge. Cleared by Manchester United. You know, we know the character of Emma Hayes. It wouldn't surprise me if she was to make early changes here. Not that necessarily much is going wrong going forward for Chelsea. They've kept the ball well. They've worked some openings. It's more the defensive side of it where they've let themselves down. As Leupold gives the ball away, looking out wide right for James. Almost just bounced off her foot with no control. And it's a Manchester United throw-in in the left-back area here with Hannah Blundell. Twice of Chelsea herself, Hannah Blundell. She spent 11 years there altogether in a second stint from 2010 to 2021, where she joined to join Manchester United. She won 2 FA Cups whilst at the Blues. As Chelsea have already regained possession. It's now out to this near side with Neve Charles. Goes to the halfway line to Buchanan. High ball out to the right, looking for Ritin Karmrid. Controls it beautifully, but can't quite keep it away from Blundell, who will charge away for Manchester United. Just about keeps it in on the far side, then tripped by Ritin Karmrid. And there'll be a free kick for Manchester United. It just seems like everything's going right for the home side this afternoon. Good run in there from Blundell, who had Ritten Carnbrid chasing her down all the way. It's now with Manchester United with their left centre half here of Millie Turner. Goes across to the right here to Letitia. It's now with the right back of Mannion towards Nalson. It's not a great pass cut out by Charles. Forward to Ramirez. She's got a back to goal. Plays it back out to the left here to Charles, who remains forward from full-back. Not lots of support though for her. And she loses out in the end to Nalson. Couldn't release the ball in time. And in the right back position, Nalson's touch just gets away from her. Goes out on this near side. And in the final third, Chelsea have a throw-in. Taken quickly to Leupolz. He goes back here to Buchanan. It's now with Perisset, who's forced all the way back to Hampton on the edge of the Chelsea 18-yard box, who quickly plays it to the left centre half here of Buchanan, who will bring the ball forward with a dark blue headband on, matching the colours of the Chelsea kit this afternoon. Perisset, again, high ball down the right-hand side. They're trying that a few times, and it's not worked again. Couldn't be kept in there by Ritten Carnbrid, seen behind for a throw-in by Hannah Blundell. Big next few weeks, though, for Chelsea, who've got Aston Villa in the week in the league, and then they've got back-to-back fixtures in the Champions League semi-final, away first, then at home to Barcelona, and then a travelling trip to Liverpool as well at the start of May. It could really decide their season the next couple of weeks. If they're knocked out this afternoon and then they're out of the Champions League, it's only then the WSL to win, and it's not a guarantee they'll win the league title this season, with Manchester City following them all the way and at the moment ahead of them in the league. That's Buchanan. Brilliant ball down the left-hand side here for Chelsea. Flag stays down right and early cross to the far post, but no one's attacking it. It'll be kept in, though, by Ritten Carnbrid just outside the 18-yard box, who was joining the party rather late there. She finds Cuthbert in the corner of the box on her left foot. She doesn't want to shoot. She gets it back onto her right and plays it backwards and out to the right wing here to Perisset. Puts a cross into the far post, looking for Charles, who wins the header. Back across it goes and headed away by Nalson for Manchester United. Kicked backwards by Leupolz to keep it for Chelsea. But well defended there by the home team, who've got a 2-goal cushion at the moment, and they'll want to keep it going into half-time. Carter from the back, bringing it forward, 30 yards from goal. Carter didn't want to shoot. Played it out to the left instead to a centre-back partner of Buchanan. Back across to Carter. In the centre of the field. Goes to her right to James, who's been a bit disappointing early on today. She finds Cuthbert on the edge of the box. Feeds it through into the area here for Charles, who will keep it in towards the corner flag. Goes back to Cuthbert on the left-hand side, who crosses with her left foot towards the far post. Headed across towards Ramirez. Good header won there by Turner. Manchester United need to clear. They can't do so at the moment. Turner can have another go at it as she clears it with her left foot. Out of play it goes from Manchester for a Chelsea throw-in. Thing is with Chelsea, they need to be careful with all these attacks they're not scoring from, because they know when Manchester United get forward themselves, even though it's not often, they're making the most of the majority of their attacks so far. As Chelsea still have the ball on this near side towards the final third here with Wrighton. Back into Charles. It's now on the halfway line with Kadisha Buchanan. Everyone behind the ball here for Manchester United. They've been very solid when they've had to sit back the home side. There's Lauren James in the right wing position. Crosses into the 18-yard box. Cleared by Letitia. Drops to Garcia. Keeps it away from Charles. And plays it out to the left there to Rachel Williams, who will be tackled there by Carter. That'll be a throw-in for Manchester United. Midway side their own half on the far side. Fair challenge in there by Jess Carter. On Rachel Williams, who scored again. 4 rounds in a row she scored in, Rachel Williams. Scored in the 4th round, the 5th round, the quarter-final, and now the semi-final. Her 3 previous FA Cup appearances where she'd scored in, Rachel Williams, were all off the bench, but she's been given a start this afternoon as they've played Garcia down the left here. Buchanan will get there first, but Garcia won't make it easy for her. Buchanan moved towards the corner flag, is turned and then brought down. Really good defending there by Kadisha Buchanan. And it's a free kick for Chelsea in a right-back position. They play it quickly. Now with the left-back Charles, who's got loads of room to bring this ball forward here for Chelsea, up to the halfway line where she plays out to the left to Wrighton. James making a run into the space. James will chase it and she will get there first. In the final third, outside the 18-yard box, towards the byline. She'll run at Norson and she'll get beyond her and she'll shoot towards the near post, but that's really poor from Lauren James. Probably went greedy there. She should have really squared it. As she entered the box from the left-hand side onto her right foot. Yeah, through the legs of Norson. That is really good skill. But for some reason, taking the shot on a rather tight angle, where there's plenty of bodies in the box there for Chelsea. Just a really poor attempt in the end. Never looked like it was ever going to trouble Mary Earps. We've got 9 minutes left of the first 45. Manchester United lead 2-0 here at Leigh Sports Village for a place in the FA Cup final to take on Spurs, who are currently 6th in the WSL, 6 points behind Manchester United, who are in 4th. But at the moment, at home, in the league, Manchester United do have 4 wins in a row. Probably against teams you'd expect them to beat, but still builds momentum and confidence, which has been hard to come by for Manchester United for the majority of this campaign, with so many disappointing results, which have led them to being well off the pace for the title, unlike last season where they were right up there till the very end. As Chelsea have it. And the right wing here, brilliant ball to Perisset, inside to Ramirez, can't find the Colombian, cleared out of play by Millie Turner. For another Chelsea throw-in. They're finding it very difficult, Chelsea, to break through this Manchester United structure that they've built at the back. Buchanan bringing it forward from centre-back. Playing it forward to James. Back to goal. Turns and faces out to the left-hand side here. Plays it through here towards Wrighton. Can't quite get there ahead of Mannion. Cleared in the end by Letitia. Straight to Buchanan. So it'll come straight back at Manchester United. As they work it to the far side here to the right-back Perisset. Looking for Ramirez on the edge of the box. Cut out by Captain Zelen, but she loses out to Ramirez, whose ball forward is misplaced. Can't find Cuthbert. Hurried out of play by Turner. Throwing for Chelsea. Now on the edge of the centre circle with Buchanan. Goes to a right for Carter. Like the majority of the plays, it's Manchester United who are sat behind the ball. Looking for Ramirez, heavy touch. And this is the last touch there. Off Cuthbert. And it'll be a Manchester United throw-in. Inside their own half here. Before last season's final for Manchester United, their previous best was in their first season back as a team. They reached the quarter-final. So, back-to-back finals would be a real achievement for them if they were to get to Wembley this time around and win some major silverware. Blundell to Toon, inside to Garcia, who's come across to a left wing position, and she's been caught there by Chelsea's Ritten Carmrid. It seems like she's hurt herself a little bit from her own tackle there. Sandwiched in between James and Carmrid there. Lucia Garcia, who scored the first for Manchester United within the first 40 seconds of the game. It's now midway inside the Manchester United half-time, and the ball for Letitia. High ball out to the left-hand side towards Galton, who heads it forward. Toon will chase it. Perisset will get there first, but she's been in this situation before, and it led to a goal, but she's turned forward and cleared it this time. And the loose ball drops to Carter. Can't quite keep it away from Rachel Williams, who dribbles back towards the halfway line to keep the ball. And she finds Turner. And it's again United on the ball. Like I say, Perisset, within the first minute, tried to play it back to a goalkeeper, but it went short, and United scored from it. That time around, she didn't go back to the goalkeeper. She just turned and then cleared it as best she could. As United attacked down their right-hand side, they've won a throw-in here. And it'll be Aoife Mannion to take, who switched from blue to red in Manchester to join United back in July 2021. As Mannion throws it into the final third, header won there by Charles, It'll bounce towards Ramirez, who will hold it up for Chelsea. And she looks out towards the left-hand side, but she loses it to Nelson. Deflects to Toon on the edge of the box. Crosses to the penalty spots, where it'll be a corner for United. No, it's been kept in by Hampton. It was headed backwards there by Perisate to a goalkeeper, and Hampton had to dive across to avoid the corner. Intelligent ball from Toon to go for an early cross, and it was towards Williams, but it was Perisate to head it back, and it looks like she's just been able to keep that in, Hampton. Good goalkeeping there by Chelsea's number 24. She took over as the first choice goalkeeper in December of this season, after joining in the summer from Aston Villa. As Ramirez is down here for Chelsea, the Colombian striker. The ball was played towards her. I'm not sure if it was a contact injury. I hope it was a contact, because Carter was bringing it forward. Ramirez was making a run into the space. Oh, she's just ran right into Letitia. That's a heavy one for Mayra Ramirez. I was just more hoping it wasn't any knee injury, but her face has gone straight into the shoulder of Letitia. That'll be a heavy one for Mayra Ramirez to take. But this stoppage will just allow both sets of players to go into their technical areas and receive some tactical information from their coaches and managers, and it allows them to get some fluids on board as well. Because at the moment, Manchester United, I've got Chelsea stumped. It will be a big half-time team talk from Emma Hayes if she wants to try and turn this game around. Because this season for Chelsea looks like it could have been so successful, but now it looks like it's going to be the complete opposite. As the Barcelona head coach is in attendance. We mentioned it before. Chelsea do take on Barcelona in the Champions League semi-final. In a week's time. They are away first in the Champions League semi-final, then they are at home in the second, Chelsea. Manchester United never reached the Champions League group stages. They had to go through qualifying as they finished second in the league last season, but were knocked out in the qualifying stage to PSG. But two headers are the difference at the moment, one from Garcia and the second one from Williams, from brilliant crosses put in by Galton and Toon. And for me, Manchester United deserve the lead. They've defended really strongly and they've attacked just so clinically. They've just, every time they've gone forward, it just looks like they're going to score, Manchester United. And I think this is a sign for Mark Skinner to trust Mayra Ramirez. Mayra Ramirez. She's just there getting up now. But it's a sign to just trust Rachel Williams more from the start. She might not be able to play the full 90 because she's 36 now, and she might not be able to last a full game. But she's clearly got the quality, and they've been struggling for goals this season altogether, Manchester United, compared to last season. Well, a lot of their players are anyway. So Mayra Ramirez is back to her feet after colliding rather heavily with Maya Letitia. Hopefully she'll be absolutely fine to continue. They do have Aggie Beever-Jones on the bench if they were to replace their striker. Aggie Beever-Jones scoring in Chelsea's last game in the WSL against West Ham in their 2-0 away win to the Hammers. As we're back underway on the halfway line, on this right wing position for United with Garcia. Can't get it through Leupolz. It deflects to Cuthbert. He will send it in behind for Ramirez, who's back on the pitch. She controls it in the box, but can't get it away from Blundell. She will win it back, though, Ramirez, towards the corner flag, where she can get away from Blundell into the 18-yard box on the byline, pulls it in, and it's cleared by Turner to the edge of the box, where Chelsea try and keep it away from Toon, and they do through the tackle from Cuthbert, but she can't keep it away from Galton, who wants to try and clear for Manchester United if possible. With it, the 45th minute, Galton plays it back to Blundell, who goes forward to Zellum, then out to the left to Galton, who clears it first time up the field. Cut out by Buchanan, who can take on Norsund. Forward to Cuthbert, then out to the right here to Ritten Karnrud. Perisset the right back, as we've had 5 minutes indicated for added on time here at the end of the first 45 minutes, where Manchester United lead by 2-0. It's in the centre circle with Buchanan. To the midfield, where it's Cuthbert. Now to the right wing to Ritten Karnrud. Perisset making an overlapping run from right back, but she tries to play it through for Leupolz instead in the box. They find Leupolz. Then out it goes to Perisset. Ramirez with the header. And wide it goes. Better from Chelsea. Well worked that time to get it to the wide area where a cross was put in the box to Ramirez. From 6 yards out, she had to almost go back on herself, Ramirez, to get onto the ball, as it was just put behind her from Perisset, and she couldn't quite put it on target for Chelsea as they continued to trail by 2 goals in this game. Cuthbert forward for James, lays it off for Ramirez. Chelsea attack down their right hand side again. Ramirez still has it, tries to play it through for Ritten Karnrud, and she had to chase her own ball down in the end. And the last touch comes off Ramirez. It's a goal kick for United. Ramirez was trying to play it forward for the run of Ritten Karnrud, but she went inside and Ramirez played her ball outside. So she ended up having to chase her own pass, and then eventually she had the ball kicked off her, and out for a goal kick it goes for the home side. Not been the best of results for Manchester United recently. They've only won 2 of their last 5 in the WSL, scoring 9 and conceding 8. They were unbeaten in their first 6 in the league, but only picking up 3 wins and drawing the other 3. Just never had a really consistent run so far this season, Manchester United. As again, they've lost out to Chelsea, who will try and go back here. They will restart on halfway with Jess Carter. Goes across to her left now to Buchanan, who wants options, but instead she goes to Carter again. Then out to the right wing now. Ritten Karnrud, 1-on-1 with Blundell. Goes on the outside, bursts past her. Has to try and take her on again as there wasn't room for her to put a cross in. She goes back to Perisset, who will put the ball in herself. Towards Lauren James, who heads it towards goal. A fantastic dive there from Earps to tip it beyond the post to concede a corner. Good ball there with the weaker foot of Perisset. And James arrived late, but timed the run really well to get to the ball first and head towards goal from 8 yards out. And it almost beat Earps. But it was a brilliant dive to her right to avoid the ball hitting the back of the net. And just before we hit half-time, Chelsea come close to half in the deficit. As the corner goes in straight to the near post, cleared by Zellum. It's out for a throw for Chelsea, taken quickly by Perisset to Charles. Back to Perisset in a left wing position with a right foot, crosses it into the box, header won by Turner, straight to the far post here to Leupolz, who can't get away from Norsund. Eventually cleared by Turner for Manchester United. And in the centre circle, Hampton will go to the ball for Chelsea. And she'll go long and out to the left here. Fantastic kick to Charles. Plays it inside here to Wrighton. Back through for Charles. In the final third. Into the box she goes. Pulls it across. James with the shot! And there's the Chelsea goal. With a minute before half-time. Chelsea have their goal through former Manchester United player Lauren James. She scored a hat-trick when these two sides last met in January at Stamford Bridge. And she scored a very vital goal here right before the half-time whistle. As Millie Turner and Lauren James have both been booked, there was a little bit of a scuffle that went on after the goal. Lauren James wanted to get the ball back to try and kick off as soon as possible, but Millie Turner was keeping hold of it, so both of them have been booked, but really nice play from Chelsea's left-hand side. Wrighton and Charles, the two, creating the opportunity. A really well-worked 1-2. Charles took the heavy touch into the box to get her away from Garcia. Took her to the byline, where she cut the ball back. And arriving was James, who could have the shot towards goal. No chance for Earps. It was from point blank range. Really good cross from Charles. About 8 yards out, right footed, in towards the roof of the net. And it's Manchester United 2, Chelsea 1. Not the best time for United to concede. They would have loved to have gone in at 2-0, but it's only going to be 2-1. James, who's struggled to get in the game, really, in the first 49 minutes. But in the 50th, she's put herself on the score sheet. And Chelsea have got themselves back in this FA Cup semi-final. Just a simple 1-2 can sometimes do the trick to get you in behind a defence. And that's what Charles and Wrighton did. And the pull back to James was exactly where it needed to be. But you've got to ask questions of the United defence of why James was allowed to enter the box all alone to have the free strike to get Chelsea back in the game. And that is where we'll have half-time. Manchester United 2, Chelsea 1. Goal scoring began within 40 seconds. A poor back pass from Perisic at right back for Chelsea. Played the ball through for Leah Galton, who crossed from the left-hand side to the far post, where from 6 yards out, Lucia Garcia headed back across goal, beating the goalkeeper of Hampton and also beating Charles, who was on the line for Chelsea. She couldn't keep the ball out from the back of the net. And Manchester United were able to double their lead despite Chelsea dominating the possession. Another cross led to another header, this time from Rachel Williams, who put it into the bottom left corner. Hampton got a touch to it but couldn't keep it out. And Manchester United had a 2-goal lead, which they were defending really well right until the end of the first half there, where eventually, after many attempts, Manchester United had got their defence breached. Chelsea got in behind down the left flank, 1-2 between Charles and Wrighton, and the left back Charles was able to pull it across where James, from around 8 yards out, kicked it not necessarily into a corner, it was more towards the roof of the net down the middle. Too much pace in it for Earps to keep out of the goal for Manchester United. And after the first half here, which consisted of 51 minutes of play, it is Manchester United 2, Chelsea 1. Such a frustrating time for Manchester United to concede. They defended so well against Chelsea, but now their lead is just the 1 at the moment. They got ahead really well. You know, Manchester United have had 2 shots on target, and they've both gone in, both from the headers, and they've had to defend a lot. Chelsea dominating the possession, but they hadn't conceded too many clear-cut chances, Manchester United, which was the most impressive part about it. But there, they just couldn't quite stop Chelsea getting in behind. It's just poor that no one was following James into the box, and it was just too easy for Lauren James to score there, who's got a first FA Cup goal of the season. It's her 4th of the season against Manchester United after a hat-trick that she scored against them at Stamford Bridge in January. She hadn't scored in her last 2 for Chelsea, Lauren James, which is a little bit of a dry spell for her. She did score in the international break against Ireland for England, but it's now 16 in all competitions for Lauren James. She only scored 8 in the entirety of last season, so she's doubled her goals this season compared to last, which shows you how much she has improved throughout this campaign, Lauren James, who is only 22 years of age. And she just keeps coming back to haunt her former side. Like I say, she spent a year here at Manchester United to get them promoted to the WSL from the Championship, but now she just can't stop scoring against them. And it's going to be a very difficult 45 minutes now for Manchester United to try and defend this lead. If it is level after 90 minutes, we'll have extra time and then possibly penalties as well. Thank you to everyone who's liking. It's fantastic. Got 13 likes so far. If you could like and subscribe if you haven't already, that'd be fantastic. We're trying to bring a women's commentary every week if possible, so we're going to try and make that happen next week. Hopefully, fingers crossed, as we're coming up towards the business end of the football season at club level, until we've got the Euros coming in the summer. But make sure you subscribe with notifications on so you know exactly what commentaries I'm doing and when they're happening. As we just have a look in the Premier League, the men's game, Liverpool are losing by a 1-0 at Anfield to Crystal Palace. Obviously, Liverpool lost in the week against Atalanta in the Europa League, 3-0. Now they're one down in a game they simply have to win. I think I just saw Alexander-Arnold on there, so it looks like he's returned for Liverpool, as they do need to pick up 3 points here. Manchester City winning yesterday to Luton. Arsenal have got Aston Villa later on. But we do have 2 really close title races at the top flights of both the men's and the women's game. We've got a 3-horse race in the men's game, and then we've got Manchester City and Chelsea battling it out in the WSL. Manchester City currently 3 points clear of Chelsea, but Chelsea do have a game in hand. And they have played each other twice as well. Chelsea and Manchester City drawing early on in the season at Manchester City, and then Manchester City went to Chelsea and won 1-0 a couple of months ago now. If you do end up leaving for half-time, make sure you do return for the second half, because it is finally poised between Manchester United and Chelsea. United going in the lead within 40 seconds, doubling it in 20 minutes, and then just conceding at the end of the half there. Really frustrating for Mark Skinner, who overall will be happy with his team's performance, but it'll just be a slight little frustration that they weren't able to see it through to half-time. And it looks like Alisson Becker is also back in goal for Liverpool, so they've had their big guns return, but they are trailing at home to Crystal Palace. But the next 2 commentaries definitely guarantee, which are coming up. We're going to have Chelsea against Everton in the Men's Premier League tomorrow, Monday night, 8 o'clock kickoff UK time. And we're also going to be covering the second leg between West Ham and Bayer Leverkusen. Leverkusen are currently 2-0 up at the moment after the first leg, 2 late goals against West Ham. It's Klein, a former Liverpool defender, has just cleared a goal off the line there. Jota from 6 yards out thought he would have had the goal wrapped up there, but Klein blocked the strike. Really good defending there from Nathaniel Klein. As West Ham are currently 2-0 down at home to Fulham, which isn't great preparation for their second leg game against Leverkusen, who can win the Bundesliga for the first time ever this afternoon if they win. And they kick off at 4:30 against Werder Bremen, who are currently 12th in the Bundesliga, so probably won't go down, but won't definitely be anywhere near the European spot. So it should be a win there for Leverkusen, which would be nice for them to win it at home as well. As it is just half-time at the moment in this FA Cup semi-final between Manchester United and Chelsea. The winner will take on Tottenham at Wembley. I think it's the 12th of May, I want to say. But yeah, for Liverpool, it'd leave them 2 points behind Manchester City, who are first at the moment. If Arsenal were to win, they'd go back top on 74. Fantastic to see. So many good title races as Crystal Palace almost double their lead. Mateta from a couple of yards, kicking it straight at Alisson Becker, who could save behind for a corner. Eze with the ball to the far post, headed across by Anderson. And Mateta, oh, that's a great save. Talk about reactions. Mateta didn't even kick it straight at Alisson. Oh, my word. He's kicked it to the side of Alisson, who just instinctively, not even an attempted save, his instincts have just got him to throw his arm up there like that, and he somehow tipped it over for a corner. That is unbelievable. What a save that is. If Liverpool go on and get something from this game, that'll be looked at as a big moment, as Liverpool are on a counter-attack here. Jones is through in the box. Curtis Jones. Oh, he puts it wide. What an opportunity. Curtis Jones, you have got to score. It is as simple as that. The Liverpool fans can't believe it. As yeah, the final for the FA Cup Women's will be on the 12th of May, Sunday. So I'll look to try and bring live commentary of that. But that is a month's time, so I don't know exactly what I'll be doing in a month's time on a Sunday, but I'll look to bring live commentary of that. But if everyone can like and subscribe, that'd be absolutely fantastic. We are almost close to getting this channel monetized, which is rather exciting. So all the minutes you watch of this channel really helps out to get me towards that. Chelsea fans cannot believe Curtis Jones has just missed that. And I don't think I can believe he's missed it as well. Thanks for his liking. If you want to get involved in the chat, you can do. If you've got any questions or any observations, you can put them in the chat. But 100% in terms of the game we're covering for Manchester United, there'll definitely be an element of revenge that they'll want on Chelsea, who were the team that beat him in the FA Cup final last season. It was just the one goal as well which separated them through Sam Kerr at Wembley. And it was a rather easy run for Manchester United to get to the final last season. Of course, you can only beat what's put in front of you. But they beat Sunderland away in the fourth round, then beat Durham in the last 16, then beat Lewis in the quarter-final, and then Brighton at home 3-2 in the semi-final. And it was an 89th minute winner that day from Rachel Williams, who's already on the score sheet again for Manchester United in an FA Cup semi-final. As soon as the second half is underway at Leigh Sports Village, we will return our full focus to this FA Cup semi-final. As the other semi-final between Spurs and Leicester did require extra time. It was a late equaliser there from Tottenham in the, I think it was the 82nd minute, and then they won it with 2 minutes left of extra time. Triple change there for Crystal Palace, who obviously are under their new manager as well, Oliver Glasner. Put up a decent fight against Manchester City, just conceded too many goals. But he's obviously got this game plan right against Liverpool. But it does seem like Palace do usually tend to tire towards the end of games because Oliver Glasner's system is very heavy in terms of pressing. It's a tactic where you need work rate, and I think at times Palace have just ran out of steam at the end, just to having to do so much pressing during the game. But let's see if they can hold out on this one. Because what a moment this will be if Liverpool lose again, back-to-back. When was the last time they lost back-to-back at Anfield? Honestly, that must have been quite some time ago they've lost back-to-back here. I mean, I'm not too sure. I'm asking the question. But against Crystal Palace, I swear Crystal Palace are usually a team that Liverpool struggle against at times at home. I know Liverpool's last home loss in the league was to Leeds at home back in 2022. And I think before that, if you take COVID away, their previous loss at home in front of fans was to Crystal Palace, I think under Sam Allardyce in 2017. So Palace look like they're going to be haunting Liverpool again here at Anfield. And of course, with Manchester United, the women's side, they have got just the league to focus on. If you take away the FA Cup journey they're on, got Spurs at home next, who could be their potential opponents in the final. And they've got to travel to Leicester, who were the team beaten in the other semi-final. And then they've got Liverpool away before the last game of the season. Is this fixture, once again, they host Chelsea on the final day. That could be a massive game. Because if Manchester United were to beat Chelsea on the final day, that could give their rivals Manchester City the title. So it'll be interesting to see what position we're in by the time that game gets played. But before the League Cup loss for Chelsea in their last game, they were just one defeat in 19 before that. And that came at home to Manchester City. So they are in generally a good bit of form, but I do think that Conti Cup defeat to Arsenal so late on in extra time did probably just affect them more than it probably should have. Losing it the way they did is never nice late on in extra time. Obviously there was a bit of controversy after the game as well, wasn't there, with the two managers of Emma Hayes and Jonas Eidevall. That's both sides are back out here for the second half. as it is Chelsea who are right in this game with their equaliser right before half-time. It was in the final minute of the 5 added on that was given by the referee. Hopefully for Manchester United's sake, it doesn't knock their confidence too much, because their game plan overall in the first half was very solid right until the end. So it'll be Chelsea kicking left to right, Manchester United right to left. There is Emma Hayes. I don't believe we've had any changes going into this second half. There's that goal before the break. Did just give them a little bit of hope for the remainder of this semi-final. As it'll be Chelsea to kick us off here with James playing it back to Jess Carter. He's going to send this one long out to the Chelsea left, up towards Brighton. Headed forward by Mannion. Headed back forward for Chelsea by Charles. Headed away by Zellum. A bit of head tennis going on, eventually controlled by James. For Brighton. In the left wing position, who can swivel and play it down the line here for Luke Potts. In the left wing position, who kicks the ball off Mannion. And that'll be a throw-in in the final third for Chelsea. Quick start from them as they try and get themselves level in this FA Cup semi-final. Avniz Charles will throw the ball back here for Buchanan at centre-half. She'll go into Carter, just in front of the centre circle here for Chelsea. Out to the right to Perisset. Once more now with Ritting Carmrid. Everything to her left here. The number 19, who's got Blundell in front of her. She plays down the line for Ramirez, who's not kept herself onside. Pour that from the Colombian. Flag goes up here on the near side. A couple of times she just left herself offside there, Myra Ramirez. The run was very it was a clever run, but Millie Turner pushed up in time to catch her offside. She followed Ramirez back and then rather quickly realised I'm playing her onside, so she quickly pushed up the pitch and caught her offside as Earps takes the free kick. It's a long one beyond the halfway line, looking for Nolson, who controls it, plays it forward for Garcia, just can't quite get there ahead of Charles, who clears it forward for Chelsea out to the right hand side. Last touch off Blundell, throwing on halfway here for Chelsea on this near side with Eve Perisset. He plays it forward now for Ramirez. Plays it through the gap here for Ritting Carmrid, who will chase it down. Blundell will get there, and she clears it off Carmrid, and that'll be a goal kick for Manchester United. Well won there by Hannah Blundell, who's played all minutes so far in this season's FA Cup. Scored once in the FA Cup last season, Hannah Blundell, in the last 16, in a 5-0 home win against Durham. She has the one goal so far this season, Blundell, and that was in the league in December against Spurs. United go long. Williams can't hold it up against Buchanan. Brilliant defending, and she wins a free kick, brought down from behind there by Rachel Williams. And we're back underway on the halfway line now. Over to the Chelsea left here with Charles. Goes into the space, cut out by Mannion, who plays it forward now for Williams. Bit of time on the ball here. Goes to a left to Nolson. Back to Williams, who goes backwards herself here to Letitia. It's now the right back of Mannion. High ball forward, in behind the defence here for Toon, who will try and get there ahead of Carter, but she doesn't have the pace to beat her to it. And Carter can take it away towards the corner flag for Chelsea. Clears it down the left-hand side. And it's gone straight out of play for a Manchester United throw-in. Be taken here by Aoife Mannion. Towards Garcia. Header won there by Wrighton. As far as Nolson, it's now with Garcia, who's going back towards her own goal here and loses out in the end. It's now with Ramirez, who is dispossessed by Garcia, who then loses out to Wrighton. It's now Ramirez who takes over, taking on 2 Manchester United players and a third and a fourth. What a run this is from Ramirez towards the edge of the 18-yard box. The Colombian into the area she goes, onto her left foot. Ramirez hits it. Great block from Turner and eventually put behind for a corner kick. Showing exactly what she's about there, Myra Ramirez, going on a marauding run from her own half all the way to the 18-yard box, where she got onto her left foot. Bit too easy, really, but it is a weaker foot, and you can tell didn't quite catch the shot very well. A rather easy block in the end there by Millie Turner, who seems to have been in the way of everything so far today. Millie Turner. cross goes in from the corner to the near post. Free header away from Manchester United as far as Lauren James. Works it back out to this near side to Perisate. It's now to the halfway line to Buchanan, who needs to find the pass. She goes down the right-hand side here. Ritten Carmrid will chase it towards the byline, but it's overhit. Out of play for a goal kick. Seen behind there by Hannah Blundell. Chelsea were able to get in behind down the left-hand side, which is the side of Aoife Mannion and Lucia Garcia, but they've struggled a bit more to get behind the Manchester United left-hand side with Blundell and Galton. As Earps takes the goal kick out to the Manchester United left it, headed away by Lou Potts for Chelsea, straight to Zellum, heads it forward for Norsund, who can't quite keep it away from Buchanan in the centre circle. And it's now Lou Potts to take over, turns away from Norsund, plays it forward towards James, it deflects to her, then through now to Wrighton, who crosses into the 18-yard box, into the air it goes, headed down by Turner. Lou Potts strikes it, big block from Letitia. Back in the box from across, James with the header, what a save that is! Mary Earps, that is unbelievable. What a save. Lauren James looking for a second of the game, and I'm not quite sure how that's not gone in. The cross was looped in. It was a header away from Turner, shot from Lou Potts, that was going in. Big block from Letitia in the 6-yard box. And then James with the header from around 12 yards out. Again on her own, Lauren James. She was on her own for a goal, and she was on her own there for that header. The cross went in, just in front of the penalty spot, heading it towards the top left corner. Lauren James was already running off in celebration. And Mary Earps just able to dive across and get her right hand to it. And it was cleared in the end by Letitia. That is why she is the best goalkeeper in the world. That was something special. It keeps Manchester United in front in this one, just as it is starting to become a little bit more nervy for Manchester United, as they were 2 up. That was cut in half right before the break, and Chelsea have come back out wanting to equalise as quickly as possible. But it certainly helps keeping the game at 2-1 for Manchester United when you've got someone like Mary Earps in goal. As United kick it forward, it's long, Williams will chase it, Buchanan will get there and she'll shield it out of play for a Chelsea goal kick, taken by Hannah Hampton, who's making her just second appearance in the FA Cup this season. She was in goal for the last 16 win against Crystal Palace at home, keeping a clean sheet in that one. She's currently keeping Musovic out on the bench, Chelsea's numerical number 1, as Hannah Hampton kicks it straight at Williams. It deflects back to Hampton, quite fortunate there, poor kick from the Chelsea goalkeeper, and Rachel Williams took that one really well. I think it went right in her stomach. They do hurt. As Chelsea have it on the far side, halfway line, Charles, forward to Wrighton, back to Charles, across into the centre circle we go now with Carter. Plenty of time on the ball. She quickly sends it out to the right flank here to Ritten Carmrid, who takes it under control, driving inside, on the edge of the box, on her right foot. She enters the box, plays it through towards Ramirez, and behind it goes for a goal kick. Ramirez didn't quite make the run to match the pass, and another chance goes away for Chelsea. It's a matter of concentration, isn't it? For Manchester United, it can be so mentally tiring having to deal with a team like Chelsea that are so relentless when they attack. And they almost had the equaliser. Well, that header from James was so well saved by Earps. Just incredible. As Earps takes the goal kick again over the halfway line towards the United right, headed on by Williams. Garcia chases it, but Charles hooks it over her head. And away it goes for Chelsea, headed inside by Wrighton, but straight to Toon. United can try and attack here. Blundell from left back, 10 yards inside the Chelsea half, forward to Galton, inside to Toon, then back out to Galton on the left wing. This is good play from Manchester United. Galton can't get away from Perisate. Brilliant challenge. And it is a stopping play, as both players have gone down here. I think Leah Galton, as she went down there, I think her head caught the knee of Perisate, and that can hurt. A bony knee straight into the forehead.
It was a clean tackle from Perisic. She won the ball. It's just as both of them fell to the ground. But Perisic's back to her feet. So is Galton. And we'll get back underway. 10 minutes into the second half. It's been frantic. Chelsea have almost equalised. Manchester United were looking good there when they were going forward, but it was well defended by Chelsea's right back of Perisic. As it's now with Chelsea on the far side with Niamh Charles on halfway forward to James, flicks it in towards right and cut out by Zellum. It's now with Williams, who can play it to Nalsund. Gets it away from Leupolz. It's now with Williams, who will bring the ball forward into the space here for Garcia in the final third towards the corner flag. Tries to take on Charles, but the number 21 for Chelsea wins it. And she plays it to Leupolz, and Chelsea can play out from the back. Down the line to Wrighton. Forward to the halfway line to Ramirez. Holds up away from Letitia. Brilliant from Ramirez. James is away to her left. Can she feed it to her? She tries to, but can't quite get the pass accurate enough. And it's cleared on the edge of the box by Earps. Up towards Williams, who goes down over the challenge of Melanie Leupolz, and that'll be a free kick for Manchester United. Ramirez did the hardest bit, keeping the ball away from Letitia, but she was slightly off balance and she was being pressured from around her in terms of opposition, trying to take the ball off her. So she couldn't quite feed it through for James, who was away on that left-hand side there. There's Toon in behind for Garcia, just headed away there by Charles on the edge of the box. A key interception as Manchester United lose possession with Nalsund on the far side. Couldn't quite keep it in play there. Let's say Chelsea throwing. It's Buchanan going across to a centre-back partner now with Carter. It's now with Perisic just inside her own half on the near side. Again, high ball, it goes into the hands of Earps. I think she's aiming for Cuthbert. She's done that plenty of times, Perisic. It's just not really worked for Chelsea, doing those high balls in behind. And it's Earps now on the ball. She pushes her team up the field. She rolls the ball onto the floor and she kicks it from the ground. It's down the Manchester United right. Header won by Buchanan. Wrighton can clear up to Ramirez. Brilliant chested touch. She lays it off for Cuthbert in the centre circle. Straight out to the right flank we go now to Ritting Carmerid. One-on-one with Blundell. Isolated with the full-back. Into the box she goes. Onto her right foot. Being held up really well by Blundell. Brilliant defending. As Ritting Carmerid's been forced back to the right back of Perisic. Goes to her left to Carter, who put it to the far post. It's a great cross. Laid off there by Wrighton. Can't find Charles. And it's now a Garcia in a right-back position for Manchester United. Trying to turn away from Charles. Charles is not leaving her alone, but Garcia eventually works to Mannion, whose ball is short to James. That's a brilliant slide tackle from Letitia. Only gets it away momentarily for United. It's now a Cuthbert to Ritting Carmerid again. In the box, on her left foot. Strikes it, comes off the hand of Zellum. She looks very guilty. The referees waved it away. It looked like a very guilty look there from Katie Zellum, the captain. I don't know if she knew too much about the handball. It was very close. The shot to her hand, it definitely struck the hand, 100%. But maybe the referee did see it as just a bit too close, where she couldn't get her hand out of the way. As Cuthbert enters the box, strikes it straight at Earps, who can only parry it. James with the shot, scuffs it. Drops back to James, who in the box, on her right foot, strikes it again towards the bottom right corner. And it's a great save by Earps, down low to her left. I feel like it's just a matter of time until Chelsea get themselves level in this one. So have a look at the penalty shout. It was Cuthbert with the shot. Now this is the replay of a shot which is saved by Earps. And James had 2 bites at it. The final one going into the hands of Earps. Let's have a look. Carmerid with the shot. I don't know. Carmerid really well to get it onto her left foot. As Chelsea are in the box. Ramirez with the shot. Blocked off Turner. In the air it goes, in the box, deflects to Leupolz, lays it off for Cuthbert, goes to her right to Perisset, with her right foot, shoots towards the far corner, Millie Turner away, again in the way, and cleared out for a corner. Absolute domination here for Chelsea. Manchester United are under the cosh. But that handball, I need to see it again. Zellum had her arms out, not outstretched like that, but just a little bit away from a body of what you'd call a natural position. And in fairness, it was very close. She couldn't get a hand out of the way. But it's just if you class that as being in a natural position, or maybe just away from being in a natural position. It's from the corner, headed up towards goal. And over the bar by Leupolz. Goal kick for United. Went in towards the far corner there. Leupolz just got under the ball, heading it up and over. Let's have a look again. Carmridge shot. Her arm, if you can just see my face cam, it's just like out there a little bit. It's almost like she's pointing. Don't get me wrong. The ball from Carmridge's foot, Ritten Carmridge's foot, is about a yard or two away. So it comes out too quick for her to move her arm out the way completely. It's a big call. The refs not give that, as we've got a Chelsea throw-in midway side the United half here on the near side. Cuthbert tripped by Zellum. Free kick here given by the referee, Kirsty Dowell. Chelsea back underway already on the halfway line here with Buchanan. Myra Ramirez off the pitch at the moment for Chelsea, changing the boots, so they are momentarily down to 10. It's Carter out to this near side in the final third of Ritten Carmrid. Again, that battle continues with Blundell. She goes on the outside towards the byline. She works the crossing at the near post. Millie Turner clears. Back to Carmrid, who's got a second go at it. With the cross deflecting into the hands of Earps as she's shoved to the ground there by Guro Wrighton. And it will be... I'm not sure if it'll be a free kick or we'll just have a stoppage in play and Earps will have the ball in her hands to restart again. It's probably been the best battle on the pitch in this game for me. Ritten Carmrid coming up against Hannah Blundell. Both very experienced in their two positions. Hannah Blundell at 29 and Ritten Carmrid at the age now of 27. And in terms of the men's game, Crystal Palace have just beaten Liverpool by a 1-0 at Selhurst Park. That is one hell of a result for the title race, as that puts a lot of pressure on Arsenal to try and keep this title race alive. Only a win for Arsenal will keep them at the top. What a result that is at Anfield. As we've had a pause in the game here, as Mary Earps has stayed down, as she was shoved to the ground at some pace there by Guro Wrighton. Is Chelsea again getting a bit of a tactical talk with Emma Hayes, as Earps at the moment is down. You definitely feel like there's a goal in it here for Chelsea. It just feels like a matter of when, not if. 27 minutes of the 90 to play. It looks like Manchester United are going to make a change. They're going to bring on holding midfielder of Hayley Ladd. Welsh international, played the full 180 minutes in the recent international break for Wales, where they won 6-0 against Kosovo and 4-0 against Croatia. And it's Ella Toone who's come off. She doesn't look best pleased. No player is ever happy to come off, but she just doesn't seem to be in the game as such, Ella Toone, mainly because Manchester United are having to do so much defending that there's no real cause to need her on the pitch, because she's not able to do her attacking work because they're not really getting forward enough. So it is definitely more of a defensive-minded change. Yeah, Ella Toone not happy in the slightest. not best pleased. It's a risky change. It is very defensive, but Hayley Ladd's on for Manchester United. She's got 3 goals so far this season in all competitions. One of them in the reverse game between these two in the WSL. She scored in the 3-1 defeat for Manchester United against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. She made the game 2-1. Sorry, I sneeze was going to happen. No, it's gone. Sneeze is gone. Still looking at that handball. It's definitely a handball from Zellum. It's just if, like you say, if her arm's in a natural position and if she can move her arm out of the way, because like I say, it's such point blank range, the shot to the hand. So back underway. Earps will be fine to continue. There's Millie Turner, midway side on half United, hooks this one away up towards Williams, who heads it on for Garcia. She'll reach the ball ahead of Charles, and she tries to take on Charles. She still has it here, Garcia. Trying to play the ball through to Ladd, it's just overhit. It's now with Cuthbert on the edge of the box for Chelsea. Goes to left back Charles. Forward for Wrighton, who helps it on now for Ramirez, who will run at Letitia. Down the Chelsea left, heavy touch. She gets around Letitia. She still has it here, Ramirez, in the final third. Just outside the 18-yard box for now. Ramirez claims that she's been caught in the face, and the referee agrees. Free kick for Chelsea just outside the area on the left-hand side. Letitia, the one guilty, seems to disagree with the decision. She is featured in every game this season for Manchester United. Letitia at centre-back. And just a hand in the face there of the Colombian. As it's just towards the corner of the 18-yard box on the left-hand side. Lauren James is stood over it here with Eve Perisset, the right back. It's a 2-player wall for Chelsea. James will cross it into the hands of Earps. I don't think that was a bad ball. The area it went into was right in front of Earps. You just feel like if a Chelsea player attacked it, that could have been dangerous. Just no one made the run into the area where the ball went. And it went into the hands of Earps. And we've got just over a quarter of the game to play here. Earps kicks it out of her hands, out towards the United right. It falls in the end to Ladd, who plays it down the right-hand side for Nolson to chase this one. Buchanan gets there first. Goes to Hampton in the 18-yard box here for Chelsea. Time on the ball here for the goalkeeper. It will take a time picking a next pass. He'll switch it out to the left. It's a high ball. Straight to Charles. Great chested touch. That's brilliant. Charles brings it forward. Brought down by Garcia. That'll be a free kick for Chelsea on the far side. As it looks like Chelsea are readying changes of their own. As we've had our first booking of the game through a foul. And that is for Lucia Garcia. We have had Millie Turner booked and Lauren James after the Chelsea goal. They had a little bit of a coming together after the goal was scored. So they were both booked for that. So the scorer of the first, Garcia, is booked for a trip on Charles. And it's going to be a ball that is going to be launched into the box here for Chelsea. As they are still searching for the equaliser. High ball into the box it goes. Tried to be flicked on by Lou Poltz. Headed away by Ladd. Put back in by Carter. Volley from Charles. Blocked by Rachel Williams. Ball still alive. And at the near post it's saved by Earps. Corner. Chelsea want another penalty, but the referee saying that it was just a coming together. Put in by Carter towards Charles. He struck towards goal, blocked by Williams. And then they both came together, according to the referee. Was this a coming together? Let's have a look. Charles tried to kick it again. Oh, Williams. You are a little bit lucky there. Charles kicked it the first time, came off Williams. It dropped back to Charles again. And as she's gone to kick it, Charles has got there first, and then she was caught by Williams. That's a penalty for me. That should have been a penalty, and the referee again's not giving it. 2 big calls for a penalty for Chelsea, and they've both gone against them. For me, that one's a bit more stonewall. Like I say, Charles got the touch to the ball first, and then was kicked through there by by Rachel Williams, but it's gone for a corner instead as play continued, and it was a shot on goal which was saved at the near post by Earps. Can you show the match? No, I can't, unfortunately. I'd get struck down by copyright rather quickly. As we've got changes here from both sides. So Rachel Williams, the scorer of the second for Manchester United, she's been replaced by, I believe, Nikita Paris. And Leah Galton, the left winger, has come off for Melvine Mallard, player on loan from Lyon for the season. She was knocked out of the Champions League last season with Lyon by Chelsea. So 2 changes for Manchester United. And then we've got 2 changes coming up for Chelsea. As Guro Reiten will be replaced by Caterina Macario, brought in on a free from Lyon herself. Came back in March as she was signed with injury. She was coming back from an ACL injury. She scored 2 goals this season, 1 in the FA Cup in the quarter-final win against Everton. And the second change, we'll see a centre-back come off, and that is Khadisha Buchanan. She's off for Sioke Nuskin for Chelsea as the corner goes into the near post. Volley away from Blundell. Lauren James is the one to get it back for Chelsea, and it's now with Cuthbert on the halfway line. Where can I watch that? It's on BBC in the UK, iPlayer. Or on BBC One, I think. There's Ritten Carmrid. Ball goes in. It's a great header away there by Ladd. Still alive for Chelsea. Charles goes back to Cuthbert. 25 yards from goal. Squares it to her right for James. Back to the left to Cuthbert. And then across to Carter. He's going to put this in the box. Cross goes in. Headed down there, I think, by Leupolz. Couldn't find a blue shirt with a header. And United can try and counter-attack. Garcia chipping it in behind. Paris is going to chase it, but Carter will deal with it before she can get there. And Chelsea can come again with the ball. Lauren James in a bit of a deeper position on the far side for Chelsea. Big ball into the box. It's an early one towards Ramirez, who will head it on towards goal. She's wanting a corner. And she won't get it. Headed behind for a goal kick. Don't want to have to rely on long balls, Chelsea, because the goal they scored in the first half came from some nice play down the wing on the left-hand side. So Earps with the goal kick. 18 minutes of the 90 to play. Headed forward there for Chelsea, straight to Ramirez. It's now taken over by Nuskin, the substitute. Plays it into Lauren James. Plays it inside to Macario. Keeping the ball away from Zellum. In the final third, Macario wants to go backwards. It deflects there off Nikita Paris. Thrown for Chelsea, taken quickly. Thrown back here to Charles. It's now with Jess Carter on halfway. Been closed down by Mallard. It's now Charles. Forward to Macario. Uses a body well to keep the ball away from Zellum. Macario down the left wing. Surrounded by 2 red shirts, but she still got it towards the corner flag here. Macario eventually playing it back to Charles, who then crosses into the box, headed down by Letitia. It drops to Zellum, who can't clear the first time. She plays it back the second, then cleared by Mannion. It'll be Mallard to chase it down. It's volleyed forward by Carter. But Leupolz has been dispossessed by Garcia. It's a 3v4 here for United. But great tackle by Erin Cuthbert. Sliding in. But she can only kick it out wide to the right to Mallard. Who can take on one Chelsea player, but can't take on Charles on the edge of the box. And now Chelsea can come again, going forward with the ball. Long ball forward, and it doesn't reach Ramirez. It goes beyond her instead. And it's a ball straight through to Mary Earps, who will run towards the corner of the box, towards the byline, to kill more time, and eventually picks it up as Ramirez closes it down. Good game management there from Mary Earps. Garcia then going through, and Cuthbert came in with a brilliant challenge. Hit her head quite hard there, Cuthbert, as she fell, and she's actually stayed down. Just as she was sliding in, she just hit her head backwards. That would have hurt that from Erin Cuthbert. That's someone they don't want to lose. Chelsea, not just for this game, but for the foreseeable future. They don't want her missing for any games. She is rarely rested, Erin Cuthbert. As Emma Hayes there stood alongside her assistant manager, Denise Reddy. And also giving out some instructions on the bench is the assistant coach, Stuart Searle. As they are the ones who are trying to make things happen from the sidelines for Chelsea. And they are going to make 2 changes here. 2 more attacking changes. We'll see Aggie Beaver-Jones come on. And Fran Kirby. So Fran Kirby will be replacing Erin Cuthbert, who will not be playing any more minutes in this game. Currently down at the moment. And Aggie Beaver-Jones will be coming on for Joanna Ritten-Carnrid. So another double change for Chelsea with 15 minutes to play. Another roll at the dice from Emma Hayes. Will this be the one to turn the game in their favour? They still currently trail. Looks like Cuthbert will be okay, even though she did hit her head quite heavy there with the challenge. So we're going to be back underway. Earps with the ball in her hands. She launches it forward, out towards the United right, headed forward though by James. Kept away from the United half by Zellum. Cleared eventually out of play there by Ladd. And that'll be a Chelsea throw-in just inside their own half here on the far side. Thrown down the line. It's a long throw and it goes beyond Macario. Ramirez then pulled down. And that'll be a free kick for Chelsea. Aoife Mannion, the guilty party on the United side of things, and she's been booked for it. Just a second start in the season for Mannion. Her last start came in their last game in the WSL, in that 4-1 win against Everton. That's a yellow card, so she needs to be careful now. She doesn't pick up a second. It'll be delivered into the box here by Macario. It's a curling crossing with pace. Header away though by Letitia. That is brilliant defending. Still alive for Chelsea. Carter can't quite find loopholes, but then she wins it back off Paris. Carter down the right wing here towards the byline. She wants to cross it. Slide challenging from Paris. Mistimes it. Doesn't win the ball. And it's the yellow cards coming out constantly now. Yellow card for the substitute Nikita Paris, who's on 16 goals for the season for Manchester United, just scoring 1 in the last 7. But she does have 3 in the FA Cup, 2 in the 4th round against Newcastle, then 1 in the quarter-final away at Brighton. But that time doing a defensive work, she's conceded a free kick and picked herself up a yellow card. It'll be taken again by Macario from the right wing, so it'll be an out swinger. There she curls it in again to the far post. Header won by Garcia for Manchester United. It'll be kept alive for Chelsea here through Lauren James, who's in the central area. She plays it out to the left-hand side. It's a brilliant ball to Niamh Charles, who in the corner of the box on the left-hand side. Plays it down the line. Ball goes in for Chelsea. It's a deep one. Overhit. It will be kept in, though, on the near side here by Aggie Beaver-Jones. It goes back to Macario. Ball in towards Fran Kirby, whose flick on can't reach Ramirez. Dealt with by Millie Turner. Comes off the head of Aggie Beaver-Jones. And it rolls out for a Manchester United goal kick, as they are still leading in this game as the seconds tick away. As the winner will take on Spurs in the FA Cup final at Wembley on the 12th of May. If you are new and you haven't liked and subscribed, make sure you do. There's another booking here, I think, for Mary Earps this time. Probably time wasting. And that's exactly why she's been given it. So Earps with the goal kick. To the Manchester United right again, but headed forward by Lauren James. Cleared by Mannion. deep into the Chelsea half. It's up towards Mallard, who won't beat the header by Carter. It's now cleared by Charles. Eventually drops to Zellum, who goes in behind down the right-hand side. Is it too much on it? It'll be Carter to get there first in the box, and she can only clear out for a throw-in in the final third for United on that far side. Wasn't really anyone around her there for Carter to play the ball to, so she just had to get rid. Thrown by Mannion, finds Mallard. It's now with Paris. Back to Mannion. Puts it in the box towards Garcia, who on the edge will volley it towards goal. Nowhere near it in the end. So far wide. Goal kick for Chelsea as Hampton wants to try and get this game moving as quickly as possible. She's not had a lot to do, Hannah Hampton. Just the 2 goals, really, and she couldn't do much about them. They were headers from rather close to goal, both around 6 yards out. That's where it can be frustrating to be a goalkeeper. When there's very little you can do when your team's chasing a game, and it's even more frustrating when you couldn't really do much for the goals you've conceded. As she goes long, flicked on by James, can't be picked up by Ramirez on the edge. United failed to clear successfully. It's now with Fran Kirby in a central area. Goes back here to Leupolz. It's now back on the halfway line to Carter. Looking to the left-hand side. She's going to play a ball in behind it. Mannion will chase it down because she has got a slight touch to the ball. And that'll be a corner. The Irish defender just touching the ball forward there, and behind it goes for a corner for Chelsea on the far side. It looks like it'll be taken again by the substitute of Macario. As Chelsea will make another change here. Eve Perisset, the right back, will be replaced by another right back of Ashley Lawrence. Summer signing from PSG. Didn't feature off the bench in the quarter-final, Lawrence, but she's featured here in the semi-final off the bench as the corner hits the bar. It was an in-swinger from Macario onto the top of the crossbar and behind. Looks like Mary Earps was possibly beaten there. It's a really good attempt, so much curl on it. Just needed to be slightly lower there. As we've got 8.5 minutes of the 90, plus added on time. Still 2-1. Ever so close there from Caterina Macario, who missed 21 months out with that ACL injury, where she only returned in March of this year. As Earps with the goal kick towards Ladd, over her and James, headed on by Paris. Header away though in the end there by Newskin. And it's a throw in on halfway for Manchester United. On the far side here with Aoife Mannion. Down the line it goes, flicked on by Paris to Mallard, who will get there ahead of Carter. Driving inside, Mallard needs to play the pass. She finds Nolson on the edge, on once more now for Garcia. On her right foot, finds Mallard in the area, flicks it for Nolson. Can she get the shots off? No, she can't. Good defending by Leupolz, and Chelsea can play out. Newskin, brilliant ball to James, who won't beat Ladd to it. Fantastic tackle, and that's a throw-in for Chelsea, just inside their own half on that far side. Could have been a dangerous counter-attack there, because once Lauren James gets going, it's very hard to stop her. But she never got going in the end with that tackle from Hayley Ladd. Almost dropped for United in the box. Nolson being challenged from behind by Leupolz, but not enough in that for me, for a penalty. And it's Chelsea on the ball, in their own half here with Carter. Goes to the newly brought in right back off the bench of Ashley Lawrence. It's now with Beaver Jones, who has to dribble into her own half here and go all the way back to Hampton. So little options on for her. Hampton goes to the far side here to Captain Charles. Down the line to Macario. Mannion following her all the way. Macario goes for a ball in behind down the right-hand side. It's a great idea. Just over hit. Couldn't be kept in by Beaver Jones. And again, it'll be a goal kick for Manchester United. They are defending well here, the home team, but the pressure has been on them since they scored in the 40th second of the game. It has been constant attacking from Chelsea. And so many of those travelling supporters are going to be very disappointed if this result stays the same for Chelsea. The goal kick always going to the Manchester United right-hand side, as Charles fails to clear it. And Carter does as well. Deflects off Nalson here for Paris. No flag up. Nalson now in the box. Garcia's free to a left. Garcia with the shot, and it's rolled in. But the flag's up. As the Carter clearance came off Nalson, Mallard was in an offside position. So the flag went up in the end there on the far side by Georgia Ball. Didn't seem like she gave it at first, but it's definitely offside. I thought it at the time. Charles cleared it the first time, came off Paris. Carter tried the second, came off Nalson to Paris it was in the end. And she was offside. As James in the box has it, on her left foot, strikes it, blocked by Letitia. It's now with Nikita Paris for Manchester United, who will drive the ball forward in the central area. Brought down by Beaver Jones. And that is a free kick for the home team. Midway inside their own half. Well won there by Nikita Paris. He'll be frustrated that she was on the bench tonight because she is Manchester United's top goal scorer this season. She is a two-time FA Cup winner. Nikita Paris, both with Manchester City in 2017 and 2019. As it looks like Mary Earps here just struggling a touch. Less than 5 minutes of the 90 here. She's got a bit of a break in the game. I think it's Mary Earps who's struggling at the moment. But it's definitely not like Chelsea haven't had chances. They hit the crossbar not long ago. They could have had 2 penalties. One with a shot from Ritten Carmrid and the other one a challenge on Charles by Rachel Williams. But United have stood tall and they've currently got themselves a place at Wembley. As it is Earps, the player down on the edge of the box for Manchester United, as she receives some medical treatment here. She's back to her feet. Mary Earps, that's no real surprise that she'll be okay to continue. Thanks to everyone who's here. Like and subscribe really does help out the channel. As we are coming towards the end of this game, possibly. If Chelsea equalise, we have extra time and possible penalties. So it might not be over yet. We could have a little bit longer here at Leigh Sports Village. That's Earps in her bright pink Puma boots with her bright pink Puma gloves. We'll kick this one long here, as it is a Manchester United free kick, which was won by Paris. She sends it against the Manchester United right towards Paris, where it's a header won by Charles, helped forward by Ladd. Mallard will chase it in the box for United, but Hampton's quickly off the line to get there. And Hampton will throw this one out to the Chelsea right back of Ashley Lawrence, who will bring it forward here. The Canadian plays a ball inside to Fran Kirby, through towards Macario, overhit, cleared by Letitia, into the Chelsea half here, where Lawrence will chase it, and it will roll out for a throw-in for Chelsea. And she throws it back quickly to Jess Carter, as time is running out here for Chelsea. They have won the last 3 FA Cups in a row. It's Hampton. What a ball that is. Out to the left of Charles. The touch is heavy. Came off her thigh. Straight into the 18-yard box for Earps. That was an unbelievable ball, though, that from Hampton. We know she has that in her locker, but the touch wasn't quite good enough from Charles. But yeah, they have won the last 3 FA Cups on the bounce. Chelsea. But Chelsea have failed to win their last 2 games. It's the first time all of this season that they went 2 without a win. They could be going 3 here. Drawing in their second leg to Ajax in the last 16 and losing in the Conti Cup final to Arsenal. And now, behind in the FA Cup semi-final, it all just seems like it's falling apart here for Chelsea. In Emma Hayes' last season, where a quadruple was on, it became a treble. Now it might just be the double. And it's not the easiest double to win the WSL against Manchester City and try and get through the Champions League, where they face Barcelona in the semi-final. As Charles, with a throw-in, throws it all the way back to the edge of the 18-yard box here to Carter, being closed down by Garcia. Carter goes long, picked up by Ladd on halfway, who clears it forward. Garcia will chase it. Newskin has to deal with it, and she doesn't. Kicks Garcia instead. And in the final third, in the right-wing position, it's a Manchester United free kick. She's done so much running in this game, Lucia Garcia. She got the scoring underway in 40 seconds in this game. And she's still running around, kicking the chest there from Newskin. As Garcia scored in the quarter-final against Brighton. She now scored in the semi-final against Chelsea. She's now on 6 goals for the season in all competitions. And if somehow Manchester United can nick a goal here, that would definitely be the tie over. We're about to hit the 90th minute. As it's Zellum over the free kick. Zellum's going to put it to the edge of the box to Ladd, who will then cross it herself. Header away by Charles for Chelsea. Headed on by Beaver Jones, straight to Ladd again. Midway side the Chelsea half. She hurries it, just kicks it forward. No real direction on the ball. And it's straight out for a goal kick for Chelsea. And we've had 8 minutes of added on time here. You Manchester United fans can't believe it. As they are so close to Wembley in a game where they'll be favourites for it against Tottenham, who are below them in the WSL by 2 positions. But Chelsea might have something to say about that. Beaver Jones, edge of the box, on the right wing. Tries to find Kirby, can't reach her. Dealt with by Mallard, who sends it to Garcia on the United right. Tackled well there by Newskin, but falls to Paris. Through for Garcia. Mallard's in front of her. Garcia will keep it on her own at the moment, just inside the Chelsea half. Garcia turning away from Newskin. Still with Garcia. Ladd to her left. Paris in behind, down the line. That's a brilliant scoop pass. Paris, time on the ball to enter the box. Angles tight. She'll put it across. It comes off Hampton. And she collects the seconds. The ball was put in there by Paris to look for Mallard. Good goalkeeping in the end by Hampton. Chelsea are attacking now with Fran Kirby. Taking it beyond the halfway line. Looking out to the Chelsea right, but there's no one forward. Kirby not happy. Had to lay it off to Lawrence, who then goes forward towards Ramirez. Through the legs of Turner. Macario tries to get onto it, but Zellum can clean up. Kicks it towards the corner flag, where we kept in by Blundell. She clears it down the Manchester United left, where it's been headed out of touch there by Lisa Nalsund. Throw-in taken quickly. It's now with Beaver Jones. Inside to Kirby. Forward to Macario. Edge of the 18-yard box. Goes to a left here to James. On once more for Charles. Touch again's heavy. And seen how to play for a goal kick. Twice in quick succession. Niamh Charles has been let down by a heavy touch. 6 minutes of added on time left to play. Manchester United looking to reach back-to-back FA Cup finals. There's Paris there, entering the box. Putting the ball through. It actually came off nobody. Lawrence and Mallard missed it, and it was just pushed away by Hampton as it was going across goal. As Mallard flicks on the goal kick, but header won by Carter. Header won by Mallard again. Won by Nalsson this time. Then volleyed forward by Zellum. Straight to Hampton. Who rolls it in front of her, and she'll dribble the ball forward outside of her 18-yard box. Launches it forward here, Hampton. It's a big kick up towards Ramirez. Head on by Turner. Loose ball drops to Kirby. It's now looking out to the left wing with Macario. Bringing in Niamh Charles, who keeps it away from Paris. Macario takes over into the final third. She crosses in. Head on by Mannion. And helped away by Mallard. Controlled well by Nalsson, but she's been dispossessed by Leupolz. And Chelsea come again. 5 minutes to play. Charles crosses into the box. Header up into the air by Turner. Volleyed by Mallard. Not very successfully. It's now to the right wing here with right back Lawrence for Chelsea. Through into the box. Newskin's on her own. Tight angle. Dinks it to the far post. Towards Macario, where Paris helps it away. It'll roll out to the far side here, right in front of the corner flag, where Charles will go backwards to Carter. Keeps the ball away from Nalsson. Lawrence, first time ball in behind, but no one's making the run. And again, out for a goal kick. It's probably been one of the most nervy Manchester United games this season. They've had to defend for so much of the game. But at the moment, they're holding on to this 1-goal advantage. Ball goes long, headed on by Mallard. Free kick given against, though. She won the header on Leupolz. And Chelsea are going to go long. The free kick is just in front of the halfway line. Hampton will take it. Forward it goes, in the air. Macario can't help it on. Drops to Carter, who puts it into the edge of the box where Beever-Jones heads it backwards, then put forward by Macario towards Charles at the far post. Headed away from him by Nikita Paris. And it will be a Chelsea throw-in on their left-hand side here. With Charles throwing it into the corner of the box towards Ramirez, who will beat Mannion to it. Ramirez still has it. Lays it off for Newskin. It's now with James. On the edge of the box. Crosses off the head of Letitia. In the air it goes. Oh, it's volleyed by Ramirez, but she doesn't catch it. Cleared. Oh, as far as Lawrence. Macario on the edge of the area. To Newskin. Beever-Jones is free on the right side of the box. She finds her. Beever-Jones with the shot. Slices it into the side netting. It's got to go across goal. Not in terms of a shot. Not in terms of a cross, but a shot. She's got to shoot across goal there. Found really well by Newskin. Left with too much space. Blundell pushed forward, leaving the spacing behind for Beever-Jones. And she just sliced across the ball and hit the side netting at the front post. Just looks like for Chelsea, as annoying as this saying is when you lose, it just might be one of those days for Chelsea where it just doesn't quite happen for them. We're in the Chelsea half here with Kirby. Heading it back to Lawrence, trying to kick it forward, but it comes off Mallard, who goes for the early attempts, and it's just gone wide. Oh, that is close from Melvie Mallard. With 2 minutes left of added on time. She went for an early shot, about 35 yards from goal, almost catching out Hampton. Chelsea were failing to get rid of the ball. Kirby heading it back to Lawrence. Her clearance came off Mallard, and she went for the early shot, and it's just gone wide. A bit of curl. And we could be seeing that in the back of the net. Chelsea, everyone forward. Carter puts it long into the box towards Macario. Through for Newskin. Headed on by Charles. Headed away by Letitia. Still alive in the box. Macario towards the byline. Shielding the ball away from Letitia. Turning. Crossing. Kirby can't quite get the shot off after the touch was poor. Cleared by Ladd. And with just over a minute to play, Chelsea throwing in the final third on this near side. Lawrence gets the return ball from Leupolz. She puts the cross into Ramirez. Tight angle. Puts it to the near post. Earp saves. And out for a corner it goes. Couldn't quite keep it in a grasp there, Earps, to avoid the corner. We're now into the final minute of added on time. Hampton is up for Chelsea. Their goalkeeper is up to try and somehow score an equaliser for Chelsea. They've been trying all of this second half, but they've just not been able to hit the back of the net as of yet. It's a crowded 6-yard box. The delivery will be an outswinger from Macario. In it goes towards Hampton. She lets it for Lawrence, who puts it towards goal. And wide it goes. And it looks like it could be the end of Chelsea's run for a treble. 2 defeats on the bounce for them this will be. Losing the Conti Cup final before the international break. Now a possible defeat in the FA Cup semi-final here. As Earps takes the goal kick. We've played the 8 minutes added on. And the referee blows her first time whistle. It's a first ever Manchester United victory against Chelsea. What a moment for Mark Skinner. As they get their revenge on Chelsea, who beat them in the FA Cup final last season. They have never won a major trophy. But this could be the best chance they get. They will face Spurs at Wembley on the 12th of May. It was an unbelievably solid defensive performance. They had to defend for the entirety of the game. They rarely went forward, but when they did, they made it count. They scored in the first 40 seconds of the game. A mistake from the Chelsea right-back Yves Perisset, playing it down the United left for Galton, whose cross to the far post was met by the header of Garcia, who gave Manchester United something to protect straight away. And they doubled their lead with another header 23 minutes in. Rachel Williams with the header 6 yards out from a brilliant cross from Elatoon, who did some brilliant pieces of skill to work the cross into the box. And United seemed to get their game plan spot on. They did concede right before half-time in the 4th minute of added-on time. It was Lauren James once again scoring against her former side. They were able to get in behind the Manchester United defence on their right-hand side with a 1-2 between Chelsea's Charles and Wrighton. And James entered the box all alone to put it into the roof of the net beyond Earps. And the second half was just attack versus defence. Manchester United rarely had a go at the Chelsea goal. But some saves from Earps. One was absolutely unbelievable from a Lauren James header. Chelsea hit the bar directly from a corner from Macario. They had plenty of opportunities. They couldn't find the back of the net. And here at Leigh Sports Village, it's a historic day for Manchester United. They finally, for the first time, beat Chelsea and they reach back-to-back FA Cup finals. Can they win it this time? They will face Spurs at Wembley. They'll be the favourites for sure. They've beaten the favourites today. There's no reason why they can't go all the way. It's not a given, but this is a real opportunity for Manchester United and Mark Skinner to win a first major piece of silverware. The only trophy Manchester United have won previously was their championship title in 2018-2019 when they won promotion from the championship to the WSL. But an FA Cup would be something different. It would be something major, and it would be something that could really turn the momentum for Manchester United going forward under Mark Skinner. They've had a really difficult WSL campaign compared to last season. They're 4th at the moment. They're well off the top 3. But this FA Cup journey has just given them something to hold on to where it could end up being a successful season if they can go through to the final and win it. It's absolute heartbreak for Chelsea. And it wasn't because they didn't try. The whole game, it was constant attacking, but they couldn't quite work the second goal. It's back-to-back defeats for Chelsea under Emma Hayes. It's the 55th defeat they've ever suffered under Emma Hayes. It's a 12th loss in the last 3 seasons. They don't lose often, but they've lost back-to-back in cup competitions. Lost the Conti Cup final to Arsenal before the international break. They've now lost in the FA Cup semi-final to Manchester United. It was once a quadruple. It's now a double, which is the best they can do. And it won't be a given. It's going to be difficult for them to win the Champions League. They've got Barcelona in the semi-final. And in the league, they're currently 3 points off top place Manchester City. They do have a game in hand, but it's not points on the board. It's not a guarantee they go on and win that game in hand. But they're currently, for Chelsea standards, in a little bit of a blip at the moment. No wins in 3. And it's the worst time for Chelsea to go on a run without winning. They're now out of 2 cup competitions. And they've just got the league title and the Champions League to try and win. And it's not a guarantee they'll win any of those 2. So Emma Hayes could leave Chelsea with no trophies, which would be absolutely... It'd be a bit of a scandal, really. She's a serial winner. Like Chelsea had won the last 3 FA Cups. So for Manchester United to beat them is something really special. Come on, United, a trip to Wembley for Manchester United. A really special occasion that will be on the 12th of May, where they could win their first major piece of silverware. That performance was so... That's a performance you just occasionally really like to see. The ones that just require constant concentration, constant hard work, communication, and just the rest of it. It's just one of those performances that just require everyone to be at it. And when that happens and a plan comes together, you get results like this. And Manchester United have won this FA Cup semi-final. Chelsea, they had their chances. Earp's making some really good saves, especially that one in the second half from the Lauren James header. It looks certain to go in. But thanks to everyone who did join. If you did enjoy, make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. Next commentary coming tomorrow, 8 o'clock UK time. We'll be covering the men's game instead. We'll be going to Stamford Bridge to watch Chelsea take on Everton. But here from Leigh Sports Village, Manchester United beat Chelsea for the first time. They beat the 3-time FA Cup winners in a row. Chelsea usually win this competition no problem, but this time was different. They've come up against a resolute Manchester United side. They got past them once, but couldn't get the second for the equaliser. Brilliant performance from Manchester United. They reach a back-to-back FA Cup finals. They lost last year to Chelsea. Can they win this year against Spurs? We'll have to wait and see on the 12th of May. But here at Leigh Sports Village, it finishes Manchester United 2, Chelsea 1.